Hello, and welcome back as we journey through intuition. Access your inner wisdom, trust your instincts, and find your path. I'm Keiko, and you are watching Live and Revive, where we heal each other by first healing ourselves. And our intuitive voice is a God given guidance and an inner GPS that many of us discount. To the rational thinking, because we think that rational thinking is more important than being intuitively led. So we can think it of as a divine feminine aspect and a divine masculine aspect and polarities that we all embody, right? We all have those. Some people identify more with masculinity and feminine, and here we're not here to judge that, but we are talking about the intuitive voice that every one of us have inside of us. Now, we have to remember that life is made up of a series of decisions, right? Our intuitive voice, the way your intuition speaks to you, is as unique as you are. Your intuition can be felt in different ways. For some, it's a voice or melodies that you hear. For others, it's vivid dreams that you have. For some, a strong sensation can be felt in your body. And for others, it's a sign that you see in your environment. So you can feel... your intuition can speak to you in different ways, right? Some people hear sound, some people see, some people feel. For me, I feel deeply in the form of anxiety and anxious feelings. I realize that my emotions are definitely a key to my intuitive voice. We all have a survival-based instinct that keeps us safe. Everyone can access this without thinking. It doesn't require any training. It's natural, and it keeps us out of danger in a very obvious way. Intuition becomes more a nuisance when it's that type that conveys insight for your life and your choices. This guidance only makes sense for you, as it's based on your soul's purpose and living a fulfilling and beautiful life that is unique to you. This cannot be validated by anyone else. It is something you have to cultivate within yourself. So intuition is something you cultivate, right? Everybody is different. For those of a more rational mindset, you will learn to work through barriers, mental roadblocks, and your resistance, and to open up to experiences that feel uncomfortable or strange based on your current perceptions. For those of you who are more empathetic, that like me, an empath, for high or highly sensitive, and are used to picking up on a lot of intuitive information, you will have to learn how to discern what is yours and trust yourself. And that is huge. For empaths, we pick up other people's emotions and we think it's ours, and we're here, we're there, we're crying. But as you go internal, as you tune into what is your particular individual telltales, I saw telltale signs of intuition, you begin to trust your own inner voice. And so when others have their, I learned this way. Someone told me, do not let others' anxiety become your anxiety. And that really helped me. I used to respond to other people's urgency and what they wanted, and when things weren't done to their liking, then I took responsibility for their emotions. But no one has responsibility for another person's emotions. Everyone is responsible for their own selves, or supposed to be responsible for our own selves. So why have we lost our intuition? We live in a rational lensed, sorry you guys, we live in a rational lens society where the focus is on seeing the surface level of reality and being able to explain and prove everything as true or false, very black and white, while also disregarding the unseen and the unexplainable. Okay, we live in a rational-based society. I had to read that again. And most of the time, we are focused on what we can prove and what we can't prove, what's true and what's false, while also disregarding the unseen and the unexplainable. In human development, the rational part of our brain evolved later than our instincts. Yet more emphasis is put on rational thought process through our education systems in dominant culture. So it almost seems like we're set up to disregard and diminish our intuition, go into the rational brain so that we're not led to greater things. In ancient cultures, intuition was a central part of life. It goes back as far as hunters and gatherers who used their intuition to find food and safety. There are stories of women from Native American tribe cultures all coming together when they were menstruating, a time when women were known to be more intuitive, sensitive, and connected to collective wisdom. How powerful is that? We disregard our own human female nature, simple as our menstrual cycle, because society have told us, oh, PMS and oh this and oh that, when really that time of a month is a very sensitive time, very intuitive time, a time where we go into solitude, a time where you go internal, a time where you take care of your internal self. How powerful can that be if we can stop making fun of ourselves and actually embrace our God-given intuitive abilities? They will all sleep in a circle with their heads together and dream a collective dream that would tell the men where the buffalo were, so the tribe would eat. In these cultures, the intuitive and the rational world dance together as a way of life. They use their intuition to even find food. How awesome is that? And that's a true story. The devaluing of intuition. There are many global historical events from witch hunts to colonialism that would have forced intuition into the ground. Cultures all over the world that valued intuition and passed it down as intellect, techniques, and wisdom for survival and thriving were endangered, murdered, and enslaved. This has had a deep impact on our global culture. Many of the words associated with living an intuitive life have become derogative, y'all, such as loon, to denote a crazy person, when it really means living in tune with the moon's cycle, like loon. So the word loon used to be someone who was living in the lunar cycles, but then it has been transformed as somebody who is basically crazy or without their sound mind. This is information, this information is what we take in through our ancestral and cultural conditioning, so much so that the mention of the word witches here may have even put you off reading more of this book, as you possibly dismiss it as a strange or woo-woo. Now pay attention, as that is how strong that imprinting is that separates us from our intuitive wisdom. Now, this is my favorite part, the suppression of the feminine. Our intuition and other related receptive qualities, such as listening and nurturing, are considered to be feminine qualities. The fear and undermining the feminine has led to a culture that is focused on action-based masculine qualities of doing, rationalizing, and fixing. Whether you identify as a woman, remember, whether you identify as a man, whether you are gender neutral, you have within you both masculine and feminine aspects. These are deep archetypical traits that complement each other, as the Chinese symbol for the yin and the yang shows. There is always a balance and a duality. If you are in balance, you will have access to both of these skill sets, and they can work together in coherence. How beautiful is that? Intuition is something that can be balanced inside of us. We can use our feminine nature of nurturing, of listening, of compassion, of slowing down, and we can balance that with our masculine nature of rationality rationalizing, doing, and fixing. Because let's face it, we do have to use our rationality in some things. You do have to comprehensively think things out. And sometimes you have to just fix things. But all of that doesn't come into play unless we're slowing down. We're being intuitive. We're going inside. We're listening. And that intuition comes into different forms and means for different people. But you only know that if you're able to know within yourself. If you're able to take that time to slow down and to think, and then to see what your intuition is saying, and use them both together. I know that might sound confusing for some people, but as an intuitive person or intuitive coach, that's definitely what chaplaincy is being able to give those people the tools that they're needing to be able to tap within their inner self. So intuitive coaching can help us bring that out of us. A lot of people, like I said, are empathic, and they just feel what other people feel. They're going with the flow. They're doing what the group is doing instead of being able to be brave enough to stand on their own and really embrace what's going on inside of them. I hope that is helpful for somebody. I hope you guys can glean that we have lost our intuition based on our culture and our conditioning and in our downplay of our feminine nature. But if we can take heed from the Chinese proverb that there is a yin and a yang and a balance for everything. So find your balance. If you're feeling too emotional, too sensitive, there is a balance. Get some coaching, get some counseling, get a best friend. If you're too dominant, too rational, and you don't feel like, that you hear the inner voice, that inner spirit, the leading of the Holy Spirit, take some time in silence, meditation, and slow down, journaling, being able to process out those deeper level of emotions. It can be scary, but it's definitely a life worth living. I just find myself being in the right place at the right time all the time, and it's just always so amazing. Can be scary because you're not sure what to expect or what's going to happen around the corner, but if I trust myself, and the more I start trusting myself, the more life just unfolds and becomes more amazing and more amazing, more amazing. So that's all I have for you today. We will be back soon with our next chapter that says how to live an intuitive life. So I'm not just telling you that we can live an intuitive life. There's definitely practical steps of how to tune in and to use that in your everyday life. Thank you for joining me, and take care. Bye for now.